Welcome to another edition of Space Alert! The lead up and excitement to yesterday's big game could be felt even in space. Earlier this week, the folks in the ISS decided to do a fun little experiment. How far could a football be thrown? Now, as you can see here, it doesn't take a lot of force to get it moving. And let's face it, you don't want to whip a football around all that expensive scientific equipment anyways. But it did get moving pretty fast. Considering the ISS is already going 17,500 miles an hour, that works out to be about 8,800 yards a second as it's flying through space above our heads here. Now I'm going to skip forward a little bit. As you can see here, the ball wasn't caught, so incomplete pass? Either way, a 500,000 yard thrown is still some kind of record. I wouldn't say it's a world record because they're not on the world, but it's a record nonetheless, and longest Hail Mary pass ever. Again, I'm not sure about the pass thing because I didn't quite catch it, but you know what? I'll take it. I'll absolutely take it. Next up, we bring you news about the twin study about twin astronauts Scott and Mark Kelly. The purposes of this is to review the differences before, during, and after Scott spent nearly 1 year aboard living the ISS, with Mark serving as the control subject on Earth. There were 10 individual investigations done by 12 universities, as well as NASA biomedical laboratories, as well as the National Space Biomedical Research Institution. First and foremost, this was a great way for them to see the long-term effects of zero-G on the human body. As always, I'll provide the link to these in the About page for this video, so you can take a look at yourself. There's lots of different data on this, as well as reports that they found thus far, and away you go. Next up to bat would be a quick reminder that we have the Juno space flight out there with the Juno spacecraft. It recently done a close-by flyby of Jupiter last week for some amazing scans of the planet, as well as some pictures with the Juno cam. Reports show that the science instruments were operating and collecting data, and that data has been received. Now, over the past 6-7 months, it's been there taking data, collecting pictures, and so on and so forth about the biggest planet in our solar system. Now, a little history of the naming of this mission, Juno. As you may not know, Jupiter is the Roman name for Zeus, king of the gods within Greek mythology. Now, Jupiter is orbited by 67 moons, at least 67 known moons, including but not limiting to Io, Europa, Elora, etc., etc. Now, these are all names of Zeus's mistresses, or in this case, Jupiter's mistresses. Juno is the Roman name for Hera, Zeus's wife. That's right, folks. NASA sent Jupiter's wife to go check on him and his mistresses and take lots of pictures. Who says nerds don't have a great sense of humor? And that's our nerd joke for the day. As a quick heads up, what's coming up next week? There are 3 separate launches here. We got a SpaceX launch, Intelsat launch, and Cardiosat launch coming up all on February 14th, obviously at different times, one morning, afternoon, evening. Spaceflightnow.com keeps an excellent track of these for us, and I'll provide their links in the About section of this video, as always. If you have a chance to see one of these launches, or of course if you can be on ground floor at the Kennedy Space Station, or if you're in other parts of the world, I encourage you, go look, go watch a flight. YouTube or any other method that you can view one of these, they're pretty awe-inspiring. On that note, this ends another edition of Space Alert. As a quick heads up, Space Alert will be on air mission next Monday. The week after will be a few days late, but I'll make sure to have something special for you that episode. If all goes well next week, hopefully it'll be 3 separate launches to review. But don't worry, I'll be back. Time is relative after all. Keep looking to the stars. Cheers.